Today we're diving into a really fascinating playbook for founders. It's basically a blueprint for building a company that, well, practically runs itself. This is all about getting you out of the weeds so you can focus on the big picture again. So let's get into it. How do you stop shoveling coal and get back to steering the ship? Every founder starts out with that big vision, right? You are the captain. You're at the helm, charting a course for some new, exciting horizon. Totally convinced you're about to change the world. But that feeling, for so many of us, it just doesn't last.
Because pretty soon you find yourself pulled away from the bridge and deep down in the engine room. You're just buried in this mountain of daily tasks, frantically shoveling coal into the furnace just to keep the lights on. And that grand vision, it starts to get completely lost in all that operational noise.
Now, here's what's so powerful about the way this playbook frames the problem. It argues that this feeling, this trap, it's not because you aren't working hard enough. What founder isn't? No, it's a failure of the system itself. The architecture of a traditional company almost forces you, the founder, to be the central bottleneck for everything. And that just doesn't scale.
And that leads us right into this idea of the founder's trap. This is that exact state of being so bogged down in the day-to-day, so deep in the weeds that you lose sight of the one thing the company absolutely needs you for, your strategic vision.
So, how do you get out? How do you escape the trap? Well, the solution laid out here isn't just some new productivity app. It's a whole paradigm shift. The idea is to give yourself an AI co-founder. Let's dig into what that actually looks like.
They've given this system a name, the Emergence-OS. The best way to think about it is like a new operating system for your entire business. And its main job? To take over two of the most critical and honestly, most time-consuming jobs: creating content to build your brand and developing new business ideas.
And this quote just nails the real-world impact. There's this story in the playbook from a founder who, after setting up just the first piece of this system, got his entire Monday morning back, instantly. And it wasn't just about the 4 hours he saved. It was about reclaiming the mental space for that deep, creative, strategic thinking that, is the reason the company exists in the first place. All right, so how does this AI co-founder actually get the job done? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the two core engines that really power the whole thing. So the system is built on these two pillars. First, on the left, you've got the content engine. This thing is wild. It can take one single, well-thought-out article and automatically explode it into a whole cascade of content. We're talking videos, podcasts, social media posts, you name it. Then on the right, you have the venture engine. This acts like your own personal R&D lab, using a panel of AIs to stress test and analyze new business ideas before you sink a dollar or an hour into them.
And the results? They speak for themselves. In its very first beta test, the content engine pulled in over 20,000 organic impressions in 1 week. That's the kind of power you get when you automate the process of building authority.
And check out this efficiency gain. This is a huge one. By automating that whole multimedia creation process, the system slashed the production time for a single core idea by a massive 78%. That's not just an improvement, that's leverage on a totally different level. Now here's the really clever part. These two engines, content and venture, they don't just work side by side. Nope. They're designed to feed into each other, creating this incredible flywheel effect that just builds momentum over time.
It's this beautiful self-reinforcing loop. Think about it. The content engine goes out, builds an audience, and establishes you as an authority. Well, that authority naturally attracts new opportunities, new insights, and invaluable feedback from the market. All of that gets fed directly into the venture engine. Then, the unique, validated ideas that come out of the venture engine, they become the perfect fuel for exclusive, high-value content for the content engine. You see? Each side just makes the other one stronger.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how do you actually get from here to there? The playbook lays out a really practical 90-day roadmap to make it happen. It's a phased approach, and it's all about getting quick wins. In month 1, you focus on the low-hanging fruit, automating your content creation. Get that audience-building machine running. In month 2, you bring in the venture engine, that AI panel, to start de-risking your new ideas. Then by month 3, you're putting it all together, integrating everything into one central command center, with the goal of getting to a true
1-hour-a-week operational touchpoint.
And just to prove this isn't some vaporware concept, here's a quick peek at the tech stack. The core brain is a flexible system that can use the best AI models out there. The back end is serverless, which basically means it's built to scale up without you having to manage a ton of complex infrastructure. In short, this thing is built for real-world growth.
All of which brings us to the real point, the ultimate goal of this entire system. It's about fundamentally changing your role as a founder.
You get to move from being an operator, stuck in the weeds, managing all the tiny details, to becoming an architect. And in this new role, your job isn't to run the machine, it's to design it. Your time is suddenly freed up for the things that no AI can ever do, making those high-stakes strategic calls and building the critical human relationships that truly drive a business forward. And really, this one sentence sums up the entire philosophy behind this playbook. The goal of building an autonomous company isn't to make you, the founder, obsolete. It's to liberate you, to free you up to do your most important, most valuable, and most human work. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. If a partnership between human creativity and artificial intelligence can automate the how, what does that do for the what? When a company's operations can truly run on their own, what's the new frontier for a founder's vision? Pretty exciting stuff to consider.